Hi, I'm Dr. Keith Ryan. I'm a chiropractor in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm here today to discuss what you do when you're in an accident regarding treatment of your injuries. Well, you have several choices when you're in an accident. Really, the first thing that you want to do is you want to have somebody treat your accident who knows how to treat injuries. There's a big difference between injury and a disease. Some doctors you go to treat your accident like it's a disease. Well, it's not a disease, it's an accident. You got it quickly and you got it suddenly, and you have to devise treatment plans to treat that. And that treatment plan will involve, correction of the spine, correction of how the muscles work, reduction of the inflammation surrounding the joints, and then making sure that the joints and the muscles all work properly in that, so that when you're done you have alignment of the spine, your muscles contract properly, and that you build strength around the injured area so you can go back to your normal life and act like you were prior to when you had the accident. Other things that need to happen during the course of your treatment is you have to go to a doctor that knows how to document your injuries. Not all doctors document the same. It's extremely important to have your injury documented if you want to get reimbursed and have your medical care paid for when you were in the accident, and you want to get any type of settlement for the trouble and the injury and the permanent disabilities that you may have gotten during the accident here. So that you want to have a doctor that fully documents everything that comes across in there, that he's able to find out what happened, to diagnose the problems, to have detailed reports every single day, not just a one-sheet report or something. You got to have documentation for several instances. One, you got to have documentation for the insurance company. They have to be able to read and understand in an easy, understandable way what happened to you. Also have to prepare the documentation for the rare instances if you have to go to court. Most personal injury cases are settled out of court if they're documented properly. A lot of the ones that go to trial are just because the doctor didn't have good documentation, and the insurance company doesn't understand what's really the matter with you, so they've gone to this extreme case to try to find out what's going on there. So you want to have good documentation. You also want to have good testing. Now, a lot of things happen during the accident. One of the things that I found that really happens during the accident is people have disc injuries. They can have the herniation, they can have the pinched nerve, but a lot of times they have what's called annular fiber tears. Your disc is real fibrous. It's kind of like leather. It sits between your vertebrae and it cushions the vertebrae. Well, when you get in these accidents and your body moves around so rapidly in these accidents, sometimes these fibers in these discs are torn. And you can actually see those fibers torn if you do a specific type of high-resolution MRI with certain settings. Most MRIs don't have it. It has to be a 3T MRI. It's the only really MRI that can see those annular fiber tears. And so you need to go to a doctor that can send you, if he thinks you have this type of injury, to an MRI that's 3T. Very few of them in the country. There's only a few of them. We have one here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so we can actually see those. Significance of the annular fiber tears is you can also tie it to your injury, because annular fiber tears heal in about 12 weeks. Well, so if you have the annular fiber tears, we can tell that you just kind of got it and when it happened. Significance of the annular fiber tears is that the annular fiber tears will heal, like I said, in about 12 weeks or so. However, They won't heal like it was prior to the accident. It's always weak, so that if you have that type of injury and something else happens, that disc is going to bulge, it's going to rupture, it's going to herniate right through where you have those annular fiber tears. So it's important to be able to treat those and strengthen your neck for or your back, the point of injury, so that if something else happens, you won't re-injure that disc in that type of area. It's also important for the doctor to know what the diagnosis is. All of these things help you train it. But there's not just a diagnosis, there's usually 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, sometimes 12 diagnoses that come across that they've really explained in great detail what happened during the accident. It's also important for the doctor you're seeing, when he finds other injuries, to get other doctors' opinions on that. Not every doctor knows everything about what's going on. Sometimes other doctors can take a fresh look at something, and there's important parts of treatment that goes into this. One, during the whole course of this, if you don't get your health, you haven't got anything back. That's the most important thing. But so we want to have the type of doctors that know how to treat accidents look at you. So in a lot of instances, you may have one doctor, you may have 2 doctors, sometimes 3. You might even have more depending on the type of injuries and what's happening to that. But it's important to have a doctor that's willing to send you out to have different things looked at and get other doctors' opinion on this. And then you take this doctor's, at the very end when you're settling, it's so important for especially your treating doctor to take this all together and put it into a report. Take all of the documentation, your injuries, all of the testing, all of the diagnoses, and the reports from all the doctor, and put it together in one easy to read report. Might not be a short report, but easy to read report, so that everybody who reads it can understand it, so that attorneys can understand it because they're not doctors, so that adjusters can understand it because they're not doctors, so jurors can understand it because they're not doctors, so judges can understand it if they're not doctors, so that and most important, so you can understand what happened to you, and so that this whole thing comes together in one easy to read report, so that you can settle your case and move on with your life. Hope this helps you with what I think is the general synopsis of how to treat and diagnose and document car accident type things. Thank you very much.